welcome to Cantripped. What episode are we on?
20.
Episode 20!
20!
That's a big number. Oh my god, hold on. Whoa. As per usual, my name is Jamie. I'll be your host and DM today, and here is my party.
Hello, I'm Art.
Hi, I'm Beck.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, I'm Ben. Whoop.
Yay! Last time on Cantripped, we had our first kind of day chilling in Makkoryn. We went to the market and discovered pottery. Canonical pottery lessons happened. We're not letting that be a bit. That did happen. That was real and canon. Thank you.
We all
I've had
collectively thirsted over potters.
We did.
Yes. And we went to the hospital and got some information, pertinent information for Rowan on the knife. And we're picking up where we left off. Did we want to do all of Neph's stuff at once?
Yes.
Is that
I
is that what
think.
we decided?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll just probably wait until we're done with all of our daytime stuff and then do that, I would say.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple more days to kill in Makkoryn. We had discussed taking some downtime to look over the journal that we stole from the library.
Sure, Kieran can read over that and work on that.
Okay. The beginning and the first initial chapters are in common, but once you get a ways in, it will be primarily in Draconic. There will be some notes that will still be in common, but it will be a lot of Draconic. Do you have...
I just use comprehend languages.
Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. As you are reading through this journal, you get further in, it gets less and less coherent, even fully comprehending Draconic. It sort of gets more rambly as it gets through, and about halfway through is when it gets less from, if you were to walk up to a aerospace engineer or something and just ask the most complicated question you could possibly ask, and they explain it full just science garble words. It's a lot of that where even the language barrier broken. It talks about magic in such a scientific way that you have never heard it discussed down to this molecular level before. Taking time to study up on this, you could absolutely, it's not unintelligible nonsense. It is words. They are just very advanced and very confusing words. You get past the opening, theories and kind of overall broad strokes, and then you start getting into results, which after reading it a bit, Kieran, it would probably take a little bit of poring over it, but it would be, this seems kind of like a spell card, but it's written reverse engineered. You can get from it a spell, especially someone without wizarding background who is used to learning spells from a book. It would take some work, but you are getting spells, and I will say one that you can probably understand the best because it is similar to a relatively common spell. There is a basically is a large scale version of Purify. Make food good.
Cool. It's just DIY make food good.
From what you can tell, the scale is much larger. And as you get towards the back of this journal, like I said, the writing gets less and less coherent as it goes through. And then the final few pages are written almost entirely in runes that are very similar to the ones that we would see on the knife.
Ooh.
Kieran will point that out to Rowan.
Yeah, could I,
See if any of them match up.
yeah.
And if this isn't written any sentence or any kind of structure that we can.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Sure.
Which one of us? Both?
Both.
Cool,
Go
because I have
for
a
it.
+8 to Arcana.
19.
Also 18. Hey!
I said 19.
19.
18.
So,
My +3 carried me. It didn't really, I just rolled well.
from what you can see, I will say this takes time. This is an afternoon of laying out pieces of paper and this knife and poring over it.
I hope Elle's cool with that. Of us taking over her living room. With a conspiracy board.
Poring over each section of runes in the last couple of pages of these journal, none of them match up directly with the ones on the knife. There are some similarities. It seems like these are very different. The doctor that we met at the hospital mentioned that some of the sentence structure, for lack of a better word, in the runes on the knife matches up with like necromantic runes.
Mm-hmm.
There are also similarities between the knife runes and conjuration magic. If you pull out like a spell book with some basic runes, you can match some character structure from conjuration spells with both the runes on the knife and the runes in the journal.
Okay, so just to be sure I'm understanding you. There's a
Mhm.
combination of runes on this knife that are similar to necrotic and
Conjuration.
conjuration. Thank
Necromancy
you.
and conjuration,
Wow,
yes.
you said that word 10 seconds ago and yet
No,
it still
you're good.
slipped completely out of my brain. But so that's the vibe though.
Yes.
Mm.
Looking especially...
Jamie, could I ask, or do I have to roll for... I know this is kind of going backwards a little bit, but would I specifically recognize the type of reverse engineering that we're seeing in the journal?
I would say no.
Okay, that tells me a lot, actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay,
send
cool.
you a little message before I forget that Claire has that.
Yay! Secret from me and from the audience because this is an audio medium. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Was there more questions about that or anything else anybody wanted to do with our downtime in Makkoryn?
Mm-mm.
I went to the hospital and I took a pottery class. Feeling
You
good.
did. You
I think
satisfied?
that's a satisfying trip to me. I don't know.
So we said we were spending 3 days.
I think so, yeah.
So 3 nights and then we are leaving, or 4
I think that
nights?
sounds.
I think it's 3 nights.
Yeah,
3 nights?
Yeah.
3 nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Yay.
can I have everyone
me
else
through the
go
horrors.
to timeout corner,
Can I
please?
have everyone else get the out of my house?
Teehee.
Subject me to the horrors.
Okay. So night 1 in Makkoryn.
Yeah.
You are in Dan's childhood bedroom, which I feel is fun. Not childhood, but teenagerhood
Teenage bedroom, so it has I presume all of his interests on the wall.
Yeah, posters. I don't know. I don't want to make decisions for Connor, but yeah,
We'll ask
you know.
Connor when he gets back in here and be like, what embarrassing interests would
Famous
be on the walls of
Makkoryn
this?
musicians.
Yeah. There's like a girl group poster on the wall or something.
So you find yourself the familiar, annoying voice of young Xandon, and you look around. I feel like by this point you are prepared. You know what you're getting
Yeah.
into. So you look around, you
know
find
what's about to
yourself
happen.
in the entrance to the large greenhouse that is attached to the kingdom.
Okay.
Locked in.
Locked in.
I will say the places that you can bolt off to, there is a couple of medium-sized trees throughout here, and you could scurry up a tree. There is a shed of gardening supplies that you could tuck yourself into. There are large bushes of flowers that you could tuck under, and there is a like a cute little picnic area that you could like tuck under the table and hide away in.
See, I already know where. See, I don't think this is the smartest idea because I think it's an obvious hiding place, but I know where Neph's gonna go, and Neph's gonna go up the tree.
Okay.
That's his forte. He's up there. He probably climbs the tree really quick too.
I feel like you have a good vantage point aloft in the tree. So you get to watch as you see Xandon finish counting, whereas normally you're hidden in a spot away and you are kind of waiting to see
Yeah.
what happens. You get to see him stalking obnoxiously around the garden, probably taunting as he goes.
Ugh.
And so you get to watch as he walks right underneath the tree, pauses for a moment, looks side to side all around the trunk, but does not look up, and keeps on walking.
They never look up.
They never look up. Do you remember that clip from one of the Fable survival games where I think Hey edited it together.
Yes.
And you were like,
No,
they never
it
look
was-
up. They never look
No,
up.
it was Shevet and I think it was Shevet and Haley, and yeah.
Yeah. You were like, and then cut to Sherb going, what are you looking at up there? And looking up. And then cut back to me going, it was really nice teaming with you guys.
I think about that so often.
Anyway, yep. He stalks right past you and goes and digs through some bushes. And then you wake up.
I win. I'm imagining the sound of the FNAF 6 a.m. cheer.
That's
Every time
really
we do one of
funny.
these.
It is very
Yay!
FNAF style mini game, isn't it? I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
the circus baby platformer over here.
Yeah. God, I was terrified of that when I was younger. Yeah. Mimi
He's
win.
scary. You win.
Mimi
Okay.
want to play again.
Yeah, go again. Night 2.
Go again. Okay.
You're having a fun time in Makkoryn. You guys are having some real downtime, some bonding experiences, some like genuine time to hang out without something weighing over you.
Yeah.
Well, over everyone else. You kind of
Yeah.
still have something weighing on you. You know what I mean? You're chilling.
Yeah.
So you probably, I don't know. I feel like you probably fall asleep relatively easier now that you're chilling. But then you find yourself back from
The
our familiar
inevitable.
situation. This time, you are standing in the entranceway to the stables that are attached to the castle.
Horse.
Horse. There are several things that you could do. You know what? To make it funsies, I will say your 4 things are you have a stall with no horse in it that you could just duck into. There is the kind of small tack room where all of the tack is kept, believe it or not. I know, it's crazy because it's a tack room. But you could duck into there. You have the hayloft up above you that you could clamber up into, or you have another stall with a horse in it. I don't know, maybe the horse could be helpful. Who knows?
I think Neph's first reaction is to go to the hayloft, but I think when he sees a horse, I think he'd be more tempted to be in this with the horse, I think. So I think he's gonna probably shuffle in there as quietly as possible. What's the horse got going on?
I was about to say, this horse... You know what? Roll me perception
Okay.
for funsies.
That's a 14.
Okay, good enough. So at first, I would say you don't notice it's a horse. It doesn't acknowledge you too much as you duck in, but you're kind of used to ducking in and out of here to do occasional work, so that's not unusual. But after a second, you realize that the horse is kind of like the horse ducks to kind of sniff in a like trough of hay, and then lifts its head back up and looks around. And then a few seconds later, it ducks its head back into the trough and sniffs around exactly the same way. Kind of like a looping idle animation in a video game.
That's peculiar. Okay.
Funsies.
Tucking that piece of information away in the back of Nephris's brain so we remember it later. What the heck?
Okay. So you're ducked back in the corner of this stall behind the weird horse.
Strange time loop horse.
Strange time loop horse. And then you hear boots going up and down the aisles. And then the boots stop just a ways away. And then slowly the stall door in front of you creaks open. And now normally the second that you catch the eye of Prince Xandin, you would wake up.
Yeah.
Blink your eyes a couple times, expecting to be back in your bedroom.
And he's still there.
He's still there, standing in the doorway of this stall.
Actually, I want to try something. So the stalls.
Okay.
Do the walls up the side, do they touch the roof?
I would say yes. Not necessarily like the roof, but there's the hayloft above the stalls. So there's like a small wall and then kind of bars that separate the horses from each other. And then the roof directly above is the hayloft. This is the bottom of the hayloft.
I kind of want to make a run for it.
Okay.
Just to see I think Neph wants to know what would happen if he still got caught, but
Okay.
ran for it anyway.
So, kind of past him out the front door, kind of just trying to squeeze past him out the...
Either that, or if there's anywhere he can, like, sprint and climb out, because... Yeah.
Is.
So it's got to be a run. Can I run him around the horse?
He's not
moved.
He's not moving.
Okay.
And this isn't like I'm making it sound like he's standing there for a long time. It's just like a couple seconds.
It's a pause.
You tell me what you do, and I'll tell you how he reacts.
Yeah. Okay. I think Neff's gonna kind of try and false start, and the horse within this stall, is it like in the center? Because I kind of want to run him around the horse.
In my brain, I'm picturing the horse, like I'm picturing you in the back of the stall, and then directly across from you is where the door is like sliding open, and the horse is to one side. But I can say that there's room around the horse if you so wish.
I think we're kids and we're small enough, so I think there's room around the... Okay.
Okay.
I want to see if I can run him around the horse. Let's see how this goes.
Roll me deception.
Oof. What is my modifier for that? That is a 17.
Okay. Let me roll. Okay. I think that you managed to kind of like dart towards him and then way around the horse, and he loops around the back of the horse as you duck out of the stall.
Yes.
Where are you going when you get out of this stall?
I think so. I presume this stable, does it just have one door in and out?
In my mind, it's kind of like two doors on either end,
walkthrough?
and there's a walkthrough. Yeah. You got me.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I didn't think the layout of the stable was gonna be super important. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's okay. I think Neph will go for the door that is closest to him. So let's say that's like the door on the left or something. I think he's gonna like...
You get a couple paces out of the stall towards this door, and before you do, it's sort of like Minecraft if the render distance was turned down to 1, where it all goes dark and kind of closes in around you. So the door you're heading towards is suddenly out of view for some reason, and you feel hands grab your shoulders from behind.
Ooh.
And then you hear a voice. That's not how this game works. And then you wake up in the bedroom that Dan has offered you.
I think that's horrifying.
I'm glad. Thank you. Take that as a compliment.
I also think Neph will not be sleeping after that.
Okay. And you wake up in a, by now, familiar pain.
Yeah.
And this time, down your back, starting between your shoulder blades, down to your lower back, there's a line of pain that sears through you for a couple seconds before fading out. And even once you're awake, even once you've looked around, reassured yourself that you're not in that stable, there's nobody else, you're alone in this room, the door's locked, you can still just hear those words ring in through your ears.
That's terrifying. I think Neph is, after that, number one, we're curious about what the runes look like, but also I think Neph will want to just double check the house just to make sure that there is no one there, because he's probably going to feel absolutely awful after that. So while he's looking for a mirror, I think he'll like poke his head into a couple of rooms to make sure there's no one else there.
I would assume that you can check a mirror easily, that there's probably a mirror in this room. Very similar runes to the other ones. However, whereas before I believe I said they were kind of like a faint, like bruised purple-y kind of color, you notice looking in this mirror now that all of the runes on your body are a more irritated red color rather than like a healed burn or tattoo. They're looking more like fresh wounds, fresh burns. They don't hurt particularly, but they have changed in appearance.
That's not great. I feel like maybe we need to get Neph checked out again. I don't love that.
Okay.
Oh no.
And you said you wanted to check rooms. Do you? Up to you. Do you want to roll stealth, see if you wake anybody else up, or just?
I say roll stealth.
Okay.
Wait,
Go for
I am just processing now. I think Neph would be walking around the house shirtless after checking his runes, if that's.
Okay.
I was like, wait. I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay. Cool.
Well.
So, Ven, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like everyone is kind of sleeping on cots in the living room, and it's the
Yeah.
middle of the night.
Oh,
The
no.
I was gonna say, is
second
Neph-
night that we're spending.
Is Neph not in the room?
No, Neph has been in Dan's room, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
So
I meant, sorry.
everyone else is sleeping on cots on the living room floor, and Neph comes stumbling in.
I want you guys to envision Neph, no shirt, small knife in
Oh,
hand.
well, Dan's done.
Small knife in hand.
Small knife in hand, and he's trying to be sneaky, but it's just not what. It's not his night, and it's really not his night.
Really not his night.
I
Can we can all see this, right? Our passive
We all
perception
see
is
this?
good. All right.
Yeah. Ben rolled very bad on the stealth check.
Rolled an 8.
I feel like. I mean, I guess Dan's gonna like. stand
Remember,
up and be
Connor,
like,
he's shirtless.
I know. I'm like.
Speaking of, so if we're getting up, we're lighting lanterns, presumably?
I have dark vision, so Dan can just
Okay.
see that.
True.
Vern's turning on a light. I can't see.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I'll turn on a light. I can't see.
I don't think I can see.
Neff's kind of frozen, caught in the light because you've turned them on, and you can just see a couple of sets of runes. One straight down his chest, 2, we said down his wrists on the inside of his forearms.
the inside of his forearms on either side.
And then, depending on what part of Neff you can see, there is
Where is this going?
I was gonna say
a
what were
line
you-
of runes
Wait.
straight down Neff's spine as well. I don't know
Okay,
if you can see his
spine.
back.
All right, it's fine.
Yes,
We're good.
yes, back his spine.
Good lord.
I got worried there for a second. I didn't know where you were taking
No.
this, Ben.
You simply caught him, and they all look very red and agitated.
Hey guys, so some bad news. Halfway through this recording session, Discord decided to kill itself. If you would like a little sampling of what that sounded like on our end, here you go.
Oh, runes. Okay.
I'm sure that as much as you would love to listen to the episode like that for the next 30 minutes, I'm not really a fan of editing the episode like that for the next 30 minutes. But luckily for you, I have a steel trap of a mind, and I remember exactly what happened in the rest of the episode. So I apologize to deprive you of Beck, Art, Connor, and Ven's lovely voices for the next 30 minutes. But I will recap you what happened during that time, and I apologize greatly for the technical issues, and we'll be back with a normal episode next week. And nothing huge happened, I promise. You're not missing anything super intense. We left off with Neph entering the kitchen, or entering the living room where everyone else was sleeping with a knife in the middle of the night. The party wakes up, turns on the lights, alarmed, manages to talk Neph down, calm him down, take the knife away from him. Then, because Neph was not wearing a shirt when he exited his room, party notices the runes that he's been keeping hidden for a while. He fails to reassure them that he's fine and they can go back to bed, so they sit down and Neph finally comes clean about the dreams that he's been having, explaining how every night he has to play a game of hide and seek, and if he loses, something bad happens. Now, in the past, we've learned that there are some things that Neph cannot talk about without taking psychic damage and, having the words kind of choked out of him. So the party's very careful about the questions that they ask and discusses ways that they can learn more about this without putting Neph in danger. So After a little bit and a couple failed loopholes of asking me, can you write it down? Can Neph spell it out? Things like that. We settled on a system of asking a question, a yes or no question, and having Neph nod or shake his head. So, the party makes some warm drinks and settles in for a fun little game of 20 questions. There's a couple of big pieces of information that the party learned from this. Things that we might already know, but that the party did not, such as when Neph is in these dreams playing hide and seek, he is hiding from Prince Xandon of Estelira. Kieran takes a moment to lighten the mood and asks if Neph prefers small marshmallows or large marshmallows in his drinks. Ven gave a really weird answer here, which was like, well, in liquids, I normally prefer small marshmallows, but if it's something else, I'll do a larger one. And we were like, what else are you having marshmallows in? So there was a several minute long argument about what else you would put marshmallows in besides a drink, in what situations Neph would want a large marshmallow. But we get some hot drinks, some cider, some hot chocolate, get marshmallows in it, small ones, and then continue with our 20 questions hour. The party learns that Neph is dealing with the same kind of curse that Icebreaker had, that we saw Icebreaker dealing with, if you remember, way back then when he had the ring and could not speak and the glowing runes on the ring. Similar spell. And eventually, we end the episode with Rowan asking the question, were you a prisoner of the royal family? And Neph answers, yes. And then Rowan asks, did you commit a crime to be there? And Neph answers, no. And that is where we ended the episode. We made it through. Neph took a couple points of psychic damage, but nothing bad. And we will pick up where we left off from there in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for putting up with this. I am so sorry this episode is short and that we lost half of it. Really, it was just a lot of us rambling that you missed. There were very few actual questions that got asked. So hopefully I recapped everything adequately, and I'm so sorry for these technical difficulties. We are back on our game next episode, and it's one of the best ones we've ever recorded, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear it. So we'll have our Halloween episode at the next upload day, and then I will see you guys back here in a month for episode 21. If you're listening on YouTube, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the show, leave a review, leave a comment. If you look down in our description, we have a link to our Discord server, we have a link to our Patreon, we have a link to our Tumblr tag. 3 very good ways to support the show by getting the word out or monetarily through Patreon. Please check those out. That's so much fun. There's lots of fun things on our Patreon, like early access, blooper episodes, behind the scenes, stuff like that. Thank you so much for listening to Cantripped. Makes me so sad to do the outro by myself with no one else to say bye with me, but bye!